Well, some football structures out there say, you know what, we're only going to invite 4 teams. FCS says, let's do 20 more than that. Welcome to the FCS Selection Special. You can use the hashtag FCS Playoffs to interact with us on social media throughout the program here. Matt Schick along with Rini Angolia and Jay Walker. You guys both played at this level. Jay, what's the significance of today?
Well, your body of work speaks for itself, and all your hard work and preparation will show up right now. You either did enough or you didn't do quite enough to keep your season alive, but it's all what it's about. You're going to settle it on the field, and you still got questions that remain. What do you have to do to get invited?
Yeah, a lot more parity these days in FCS football. You know, back when I played, the field of the playoffs was only 16 teams now, as Matt said. It's enlarged a little bit, but this is a day the butterflies are churning in your stomach right now.
Only took you about 30 seconds into the show to give us a back in my day type of thing here.
One AA day, one AA legend,
right.
not even
FCS. Can't say one AA anymore. FCS.
24-team format. It's been that way since 2013. Give you a little FCS playoffs 101 here. Seeding is so important in this format. They seed 8 teams. You get first-round bye, so you're not going to be playing on Thanksgiving weekend. Good to be home with your friends and family. Top 4 seeds get home field through the quarters. Top 2 seeds get home field through the semifinals. 10 of those FCS leagues getting automatic bids. The rest are at-larges. Again, look at the fine print at the bottom. Teams from the same conference will not be paired for first-round games unless they did not play each other in the regular season. Now, online on social media, the top 4 seeds were revealed, but those were in alphabetical order. We've got numbers attached to those, and let's begin with the number 1 overall seed. No surprise here, the North Dakota State Bison. They've won this national championship a bunch. They've won 7 of the last 8 titles, Jay, and here they are. They appear to be the team to beat.
They're good, and they continue to get better. You're talking about a ball squad that's got a 33-game winning streak, 33 in a row. If they make it to 38, that'll be another championship in Fargo, North Dakota. The Bison are legit.
And as good as they are, give Matt Entz, the new head coach, credit. He was there, he was a coordinator, gets promoted to the head coaching position, but really hasn't missed a beat. That transition has been excellent.
10th FCS tournament appearance. Again, home field through the quarters. The top 2 seeds, like North Dakota State, will get home field through the semifinals, as will the number 2 overall seed, the Dukes of James Madison, champs out of the Colonial. Kirk Cignetti in his first season with the Dukes, not missing a beat here this year, Rini.
And JMU is another program like North Dakota State that, you know, when playoff time rolls around, they are right up there. And Kirk Cignetti moved over from Elon, took this JMU job, and sometimes that transition can be really tough. But I tell you what, he inherited a very experienced team, and I think they got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, too.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit under the radar behind North Dakota State. This is the team that's won 11 straight ball games, but let's not be silly about it. The top 2 teams in FCS all season long have been North Dakota State and James Madison.
4th CAA championship in the last 5 years. A couple of national championships there for JMU, the last coming in 2016. All right, those are the top 2 seeds. How about the number 3 overall seed? The Weber State Wildcats out of the Big Sky. Jay Hill in his 6th season getting it done once again, getting a share, getting that auto bid.
Yeah, a little bit different style of play than what Weber State fans are used to. Gone are the days of Jamie Martin when they had the quarterback that would throw it all over the place. This team is built on defense, and they force turnovers to give their offense great field position.
You're on the money. We know what travels during playoff times, and it's defense.
Oh, it's
over
defense.
25 turnovers for us. Their turnover margin over plus 11. That defense can play, and they're going to be a tough team.
One of the best defensive teams in all of FCS. So we've had Missouri Valley, Colonial, Big Sky, number 4 overall seed. Let's stick in the Big Sky. Sacramento State Hornets, first ever FCS playoff appearance. Not only that, they are a top 4 seed, Rini.
And another first-year coach, Troy Taylor, went to Sacramento State. He was the offensive coordinator at Utah last year. Former quarterback, so you know offensively they are dynamic. They will throw the ball vertically down the field, score a lot of points. Oh, by the way, pretty good defense as well, but a lot of pressure on this team, being that this is their first time in the FCS playoffs.
Yeah, and I would take a negative and turn it into a positive. Everybody expects you to be nervous. Well, you're from Sacramento. California's supposed to be the laid-back state. Don't let the situation, the stage get too big for you. Go down south a little bit, get a little bit of Hollywood mentality. Wear the shades. You are the number 4 ranked team in the country. Wear it as a badge of honor. Don't be afraid of anybody.
Quarterback Kevin Thompson and that offense trying to make some headway here in this field. So here are your top 4 seeds. And if chalk were to hold, these would be your 2 semifinal matchups. JMU and Weber State, North Dakota State and Sacramento State. So some good news, bad news here for the Hornets, Jay.
Yeah, the Hornets, they had a good run. They're one of the top 4 teams in the country, but here's your reward for your fantastic season. You're going to have to go through Fargo, North Dakota if you want to keep your season alive. But they'll take it. It beats not being a national seed.
I think it takes pressure off them, right? Because everyone's expecting North Dakota State. So Sacramento State just, all right, we'll play. We'll be there.
Top 4 seeds, guaranteed home field through the quarters. Top 2, as long as they win, guaranteed home field through the semifinals. So we see those top 4 seeds, and maybe had Saturday not taken place, we might have seen a couple of other logos there. What was some of the impact you think about Saturday's game?
Yeah, the one that sticks out, Montana lost to their rival Montana State. I think they would have been in one of those top 4 seeds. They lost. They're out. So it'll be interesting to see where they fall to.
Yeah, the key is how far did they fall? Like a school like South Dakota State, which was one of the top 5 teams throughout the country, regular season, we didn't see their name in the top 4. How far did they go down? I'm sure they got to be on alert right now.
Yeah, it's been, I think, about 4 years since South Dakota State did not get a seed. So we'll see if they get a seed here. Again, top 4 seeds have been revealed. Now let's go 5 through 8. Show you these teams. Again, these are teams that are going to have no games on Thanksgiving weekend. Nice little first round bye, and there we see them. Montana State out of the Big Sky. Montana out of the Big Sky. So you had Montana State get that win over the Grizz in that Cat Grizz game yesterday. Really destroyed them, but both of them getting top 8 seeds. South Dakota State, they're the aforementioned Jackrabbits out of Missouri Valley, and Central Arkansas out of the Southland. So all 8, the teams we've mentioned so far, getting first round bye.
I'm going to agree with Rini there. I think Montana losing that game, that cost them.
Yeah.
They were basically a shoe-in to have an opportunity to host that game there. They didn't get the job done. And I said South Dakota State as well because we're just so used to them being there, hosting right away. But the committee, they were consistent. If you had a loss the last weekend of the season, it cost you in some form or fashion.
Well, no doubt. But the thing that I see there is if they fell to 6 and 7, right? So that should move them out of the bracket of North Dakota State. So you just got to look, Yeah, so
maybe they were coy. Maybe like Sacramento State first time in. Oh, you want to be number 4? Go ahead. We'll go down here.
Silver linings for everybody. Bad news for Sac State. Oh, you lost. You don't get a top 4, but you don't have to face North Dakota State until the end. We'll talk to Coach Jensen a little bit. Any issues here with the top 8, whether it's the seeding order or who was included?
This year was a tough year out there, but I don't think I've seen a year where you had 3 lost teams. I'm talking about teams that have lost 3 games at the FCS level. We've always given an exception to a loss versus an FBS program, but having a 3-loss FCS team get a national seed, that's a little bit of a head scratcher in my eyes.
Yeah, and I think I'm trying to look math real quick, and Matt will correct me. I think there's 5 3-loss teams or more that got seeded.
6 this year, including a 4-loss team. And there hadn't been more than 1 3-loss team with a first-round bye under this format. You play 12 regular season games now. That's good.
Well, and the thing is, I think the parity. I talked about it in the open. So much more competition at the FCS level. So, it may look surprising 6 teams with 3 or more losses get seeded. And when you think about how good the play is, it makes sense.
To go back to a little statement I made earlier, we know the top 2 teams are in the country. Everybody else is playing for 3rd, 4th, and 5th place.
And again, why is it so important to be seeded? Just 4 unseeded teams have reached the semifinals since this format was expanded in 2013, and only 1 unseeded team made the national championship game. That was Youngstown State 3 years ago and did not win. So it's important to have that bye, important to be a top 8 seed. Look at these 3 schools. They're waiting like, okay, guys, we've been over the top 8. Let's go. Let's get the bracket going. Monmouth there in West Long Branch, New Jersey. Might they be a host? We'll see. Wofford, Southern Illinois, and Carbondale. A lot of teams out there hoping to hear their names called. Top left, here we go. North Dakota State will take on the winner of, here we go, Nichols, the Curls out of the Southland. Their 4th straight win over the weekend. Offense really hitting their stride. Out of Thibodaux, Louisiana, they are going to host a first-round game as the auto bid against, North Dakota Fighting Hawks out of Grand Forks, North Dakota. Maybe our first surprise here at Independent. Ended the year with a win over Southern Utah, went 4-1 in their last 5 regular season games, Rini.
Yeah, right off the bat, you're on the money. North Dakota was a bubble team playing an independent schedule this year. Listen, Nicholls State, they can run the football. I like what they do down there. They're one of the best running teams in the country. In North Dakota, the one thing I take from this is they were 6-0 at home this year, Matt. 1-4 on the road. Well, guess what? They got to go on the road to Nicholls, so that's going to be a good first-round matchup.
And 3 of their 4 losses came on the road against teams that went unbeaten at home. So North Dakota takes on Nicholls, and the winner of that will take on North Dakota State. Now, working our way down, Central Arkansas will await the winner of this first-round matchup. Southeast Missouri State Redhawks out of the Ohio Valley, getting an at-large, sharing the crown with Austin Peay, their 3rd FCS playoff appearance. It's their 2nd straight. Beat Murray State over the weekend, also a win over SIU. They will take on, in the first round, Illinois State, an at-large out of the Missouri Valley, maybe another one of those bubble teams. Illinois State lost to Youngstown State yesterday, 21-3. Didn't hurt their inclusion here, Jed.
I think it hurt them in terms of they're going on the road now. They had a great opportunity to host a game right there. It'll be the Red Hawks versus the Red Birds. Brock's back. He's battle-tested. He still has the best staff in the college football landscape there. But give credit to Southeast Missouri, able to hold on out of the OVC and keep their season alive.
Illinois State, their first bid since 2016. Working our way down with the 5-seed Montana State. The Albany Great Danes out of the Colonial, an at-large, their 2nd FCS playoff appearance. Their other was back in 2011. Quarterback Jeff Undercuffler and company helped beat Stony Brook yesterday, and that may have been an important win to get them in. Also a win over Towson, win over Delaware and New Hampshire. Albany will take on Central Connecticut State Blue Devils, the champs, the auto bid out of the Northeast Conference. Head coach Ryan McCarthy there out of New Britain, Connecticut, in his first season, getting the auto bid, their 2nd playoff appearance, their 1st since 2017, Rini.
Well, and there's no doubt that win by Albany yesterday, Coach Greg Gattuso, his Fighting Great Danes, that got him a home game, and you can see what the committee thinks about the Northeast Conference and the CAA, because Central Connecticut, 11-1 Central Connecticut State on the year. They have to travel, not far, but they got to go up to Albany for that first round
Central
game.
Connecticut State lost in the first round in their only other appearance 2 years ago. We'll see if they can get by the Great Danes and earn a matchup with Montana State. Working our way down with the 4-seed Sacramento State. The first round matchup is Austin Peay, the Governors.
The Governors.
Head coach Mark Hudspeth in his first season. Remember a couple of years ago, Will Healy and
Heartbreak
company
Hotel.
got left out. They had a camera crew there. They were all set. Took a couple of more years, but they are in their first OVC title and 42 years in their first FCS playoff appearance. And their first-round matchup at home in Clarksville, Tennessee will be against...
Watch this. This is a surprise. They're nervous.
Ooh.
Furman got in. Relax, fellas.
Paladins finished 2nd in the Southern Conference, won a national championship more than 30 years ago, their 18th FCS playoff appearance, and their 2nd in the last 3.
Yeah, let's give credit to Austin Peay. Taking care of business. They did not like the feeling of being left out 2 seasons ago. They earned it, got the automatic bid from the OVC. And Furman, I know they were nervous all weekend. Give the Purple Paladins credit. Clay Hendricks' boys went out there yesterday. Impressive victory in enough style points, putting 50 points on the scoreboard to ensure they would get an invitation. I had them on the bubble.
It was against the D2 team yesterday. That game essentially gets thrown out because of some scheduling issues. They had to play D2 in the regular season.
But you don't ignore 50 points.
They have played well down
They're
the
supposed to, the committee, but they probably didn't.
All right, so that is the top portion of the bracket. Not wasting any more time, let's go to the bottom portion of the bracket. The Wofford Terriers out of the Southern Conference, that automatic bid, their 4th straight appearance, 3rd straight SoCon championship, beat the Citadel to lock up that, get that first round home game. So there are the Wofford Terriers there, hosting in Spartanburg, South Carolina, taking on Kennesaw State Owls out of the Big South, their 3rd FCS playoff appearance, all coming since 2017. Quarterback Tommy Bryant and company getting into the field. 10 wins. Some might question their schedule, but it's hard to ignore the double digit in the win column.
You're reading my mind there, man. I thought Kennesaw State at 10-2 would have hosted at least one game at home. They don't. They go on the road to Wofford. And the thing about this game, get your popcorn ready because this game will be over in 2 hours. We have 2 triple option teams. There's going to be a lot of running the football in this game.
And Rini, you can play in this game because you're a former running back. I don't want to play in this game because I was a drop-back quarterback, and these are going to be 2 options.
You can hurt yourself handing the ball off.
I don't want no part of that one, but it'll be a good one.
All right, so working our way down, the number 6 Montana is awaiting the winner of this game. Southeastern Louisiana, first appearance since 2014 out of the Southland, their 3rd FCS playoff appearance. They're hosting as an at-large. They lost in the River Bell Classic against Nichols. Their 4-game win streak was snapped, but that did not see their season come to an end. Orlando Jordan and company on that defensive side of the ball looking to take on the Villanova Wildcats out of the Colonial. Another at-large. Won a national championship about 10 years ago. Quarterback Daniel Smith and company. Villanova heading south, taking the trip to Hammond, Louisiana, Jay.
Southeast Louisiana very fortunate to not only still be alive in the playoffs, but to have the opportunity to host a football game. Clearly on the bubble. And I think for Villanova, the Mark Ferrante postseason era begins right now. Let's see if he can get Nova playing some good football down there in Louisiana.
They put up 55 points against Delaware yesterday, so they might be peaking at the right time. Let's peek down. Again, number 7 seed, South Dakota State out of the Missouri Valley Conference do get that seed, a top 8 seed. So they will be watching this matchup. Northern Iowa, the Panthers out of the Missouri Valley, so a fellow conference foe, Mark Farley and company, in his 19th season there at UNI. They were FCS runners-up 14 years ago, their 21st FCS playoff appearance, and their 3rd straight unbeaten at home this year, so they will welcome in San Diego Toreros, the champs out of the Pioneer League, got that automatic bid out of the Pioneer. Head coach Dale Lindsey, company, their 5th FCS playoff appearance and their 4th straight trip. And Rini, it's time to pack the bags.
Yeah, they got to travel. And this is a quintessential defense versus offense, because when I think Northern Iowa, I think defense. Standouts in many categories this year: total defense, scoring defense, turnovers forced, you name it, that defense can do it. And in San Diego, offense, over 500 yards a game, 41 points a game. Something's got to give, Jay.
And that game's being played in a dome.
In a dome.
So the California boys have a chance. They don't have to worry about the weather.
I agree. That's a big point.
Maybe leave off the heat?
Yeah.
Michael Bandy, top 10 in touchdown receptions and receiving yards in the FCS. So if you're doing the math on this, you'll realize that the at-larges are done. James Madison will await the winner of the auto bid out of the Big South Conference, the Monmouth Hawks out of the Big South. Kevin Callahan has been the first and only head coach there in Monmouth history in his 27th season there with the Hawks. It's their 2nd FCS playoff appearance. Remember last year, the heartbreak of not getting in. Here they are. Not only that, they are hosting a first-round matchup against a little short trip there, the Holy Cross Crusaders out of the Patriot League. The Patriot League champs getting that championship outright. They shut out Georgetown yesterday. It's their 3rd FCS playoff appearance, their last one coming 10 years ago. Monmouth and Holy Cross, Jay Walker.
Good job by Monmouth, and we'll hear from them a little bit later on. But Bob Chesney, head coach for the Holy Cross Crusaders, I think they just survived the carnage, which was the Patriot League this year. They beat up on everybody on a weekly basis. They were the only one that really had a record good enough to get them in the postseason at 7-5.
And ultimately, I think the best Patriot League team, Holy Cross, got the spot.